the medical attention tonight or ever. My good friend Jared Stein is a doctor. And he's over at table 3. Oh, there he is right there. Say hello, Jared. If you ever need any help, he's really very competent. Great guy. All right.
Okay, make sure you get this on video.
Greg and the Katz family are pretty much in every one of my childhood memories. Tonight, I'd like to share one memory in particular. It's the summer of 1990, and Greg and I have just finished the 7th grade. It's around 8 a.m., and his mom, Bev, comes into Greg's room where we are soundly asleep. She's yelling at Greg not to forget to listen for the doorbell and open up for Lupe, I think that was her name, the housekeeper, who was scheduled to arrive later that morning to clean the house. Most mothers would simply leave it at that. Please don't forget to listen for the doorbell and let Lupe in. Well, if you know Bev, then you know that she's incapable of keeping her diatribes to under 500 words or 150 decibels. So she carried on. Ach man, what an absolute disaster, you bloody children have no respect. And this Duas and a maid has to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and take 3 buses to get here by 9. Do not forget to answer the door. The bloody woman always leaves the bloody glasses filthy. Please remind her, Gregory, we're having company tonight. Gregory Lawrence, are you listening to me? You ungrateful children are going to make me late. Gregory, you're my eldest, you must act responsibly. You mustn't be such a deuce. Look at you. You and your friend, 2 muffies wasting the whole day. What you boys need is a job. Rick, remind me to call Linda. Johnny, Norm will put you all to work in his sweatshop. That's what you boys need to do this summer instead of staying up all hours of the night causing mischief. On and on and on and on. Bev was right. We had stayed up all hours causing mischief. Our previous night probably began at Bobby's liquor store on Wycliffe. Respect. We would give the homeless guy a few bucks to buy us a couple bottles of Purple Passion. After consuming various liters of the purple drink and smoking a couple packs of Black Clove cigarettes, you know what's up. And Greg mistaking Skull Wintergreen snuff for something you put on your tongue and swallow, causing you to puke violently for a few hours. We then moved on to Petty Crime. And I'm not talking about Glen Eagles, that was a couple of years later. About that. This was just your run-of-the-mill vandalizing of cars, which consisted of stealing hood ornaments and making dope necklaces. And that usually escalated into shitting into plastic cups and depositing the shit into vehicles of A, anyone arrogant enough to own a convertible, especially Corvettes, a few of you suckers out there, and B, anyone arrogant enough to own a front-loading mailbox. After that, we went over to our little girlfriend's house. I think it was the Heathers at the time, Wilhite and Coy. Sorry, Brian. We would put the song More Than Words by Extreme on repeat and kiss the shit out of them. It was a successful yet arduous evening. So as you can imagine, the following morning at 8 a.m., we weren't really in the mood to listen to Bev's shtick. Meanwhile, Noodle, Nick, is sitting his fat ass 2 inches in front of the Nintendo. He was actually fat at the time. Spent all day, every day, for 3 years in front of the Nintendo. And he would bark orders at me. God damn it, Mom, get out of the way. I'm about to break my all-time record at Super Mario Brothers. Fix me a brown cow and a fish-based sandwich. Meanwhile, she would beg Nick to change out his thumb condom, which he had to wear on a daily basis to prevent more blisters due to over friction from the Nintendo remote control. He actually had a thumb condom. So to paint the picture, Bev is yelling. yelling at Meg for being a lazy bastard and never going outside. She's yelling at Samantha because she's whining. She's yelling at Greg for being a lazy bastard and sleeping too late. And finally, she's yelling at me for being a lazy bastard and being a bad influence on Greg and Jim. And if you know the Katz family, then you know this isn't a monologue. This is a lively exchange. So Greg is cursing at his mom, telling her to please shut the fuck up. Nick is cursing at his mom, demanding lunch. Rick is also cursing at Beverly, telling her they need to hurry up. Sammy is crying out about God knows what, because no one's paying attention to her. After 20 minutes of this madness, finally, thankfully, Rick and Beverly leave. We have some peace and quiet. Now, some kids have a favorite t-shirt, or a pair of pants, or maybe even a favorite baseball cap. Greg, he had a favorite pair of boxers that he slept in nearly every night for years and years. You know? He'd outgrown them many years before, refused to give them up. They were baby pink, knee-length boxers with white ruffles along the bottom ridge. I have no idea where he got them. They looked like something a very sad clown would wear exiting a miniature car. So the next thing I know, doorbell rings, starts ringing over and over again, and it's Lupe, the housekeeper. So I shake Greg and I say, hey, get up, get the door. Startled, jumps up, flies to the door, half asleep to let her in. All of a sudden I hear this blood-curdling scream of sheer terror coming from across the house. Lupe probably had not had her first cup of café con leche before Greg opened the door. Apparently, he welcomed Lupe with a sleepy-eyed buenos dias and a vital morning erection protruding from the hole in his boxers. The same pink ruffled boxers that were 2 sizes too small. It took Greg a moment to realize that his Woodrow Wilson, that's his term, not mine, had escaped his bloopers. Obviously, Lupe was not prepared to be greeted in such a manner and proceeded to lose her shit. Ay, Dios mío, hijo de puta, pinche verga, este niño no vale nada, son loquitos, me voy. Which roughly translates to, Jesus Christ, I'm out of here. And Lupita was back on a bus worth 3 to Oakland that washing any of Bev's dishes for filthy glosses. That's it. Just one random day in the life of the Katz family. I know that had absolutely nothing to do with the union, something and Lauren, but I thought it was pretty funny. On a more serious note, I'd like to say a few words to Lauren. Lauren, I truly adore your energy, your sense of humor, and your charisma. But most importantly, I love the fact that you make my boy smile. In 25 years of knowing Greg, I've honestly never seen him this happy. Except maybe when he's shitting in cups. Greg also knows me as GK, Guayo, Lancelot, Charlie, Charleston, and Julie Chesterton. Anyone that knows Greg, Greg is the delight of all who know him. Honestly. A wise man once said, we pick our friends not only because they are kind and enjoyable company, but also, perhaps more importantly, because they understand us for who we think we are. Greg, there's nothing I can say that would describe how I feel as perfectly as you deserve it. I love you, brother. A toast to Greg and Lauren. Come, let us all be friends for once. Let us make life easy on us. Let us be lovers and loved ones. For the earth shall be left to no one. Salud. As Greg says, elbows up on Zoom.